Okay, now for another silly graph. Same y-axis. How good or bad is it if you're at home or you're camping? Now, this person's graph seems to go shooting off. At home it's okay. The closer they get to going camping, it just goes off the chart how awesome this person's life is. Okay, and to indicate that it goes perfectly flat up there, we'll often have sort of a dotted line. This is a vertical asymptote. I mean to say that this line just keeps going and going and going and going, and so if I were to draw it forever, it would look like a vertical line at whatever that value is. Maybe we should give it some values. We should 1 through 8, I don't care what they are, and 1 through 3, and -1 through -3. Fine. So, what are we talking about here? Information about the graph f. Well, the domain of graph, we have all the points, including 2, all the way up to 7. We have values for every single point up to 7, but not including 7. I don't tell you how f actually feels about camping. We're just talking about how f feels on the road approaching camping. So the domain are all the points. We use a closed bracket like this, indicating that we include 2. 2 is a point that we can talk about, but we have a parenthesis at 7, meaning we don't include 7. It's increasing. It's increasing everywhere from 2 up to 7. It's curving upward. It's concave up all the way from including 2 to not including 7. And we have that vertical asymptote at x equals 7. We describe a vertical asymptote with the line that it approaches. If I were to draw this forever and ever and ever, it would look an awful lot like the straight one, not the whole straight vertical line, x equals 7, but everything from y value 20 up. So, a whole lot of straight line. Now, let's talk about a new graph. G is exactly the same thing as f with one more point put in. Well, now G has a domain that includes all the points of f and the point 7, so we use a closed bracket at the 7. And it's only increasing from 2 up to 7. It's not increasing, it kind of takes a jump down. When G goes camping, G gets happier and happier and happier and happier as it gets closer to camping, but then when it gets camping, it's, it's a little bit better than okay. It's not quite great. It's concave up throughout, just as f, but not at the 7, because that's a weird point. And we have the same vertical asymptote. This was my whole point of this graph. All these people, there's got high school teachers that say that a vertical asymptote can't be crossed. Sure it can. Just means that as G gets close to camping, things get awesome, they freak out, but when they actually show up, it's not that great. You can have a point. Vertical asymptote, any sort of asymptote, just means your graph starts looking like a straight line. You could have a point at that place.